Well, hey folks, Fat Guy Flies RC. Looky here. This snuck one in on you, but this is not one I purchased it, but this is not one that you can buy anymore. This is the discontinued. This is the MiG-21. This is what I call a retail rescue. I got this actually, was at the club for sale. A guy had it up there for $90, and all I got, it had a receiver in it and a satellite, but it was an older Admiral, and I really couldn't find the information I needed on it, and I wanted to use something more modern. I wanted to use AS3X Plus, so I took that out. So it was sold as a bind and fly, but now I've got it here. I took it out, and we're going to take it out and have get a maiden for you, and we'll be back here, and we'll see how it flies. Hopefully we'll have a successful maiden. Well, hey folks, Fat Guy Flies RC. All right, this is the FREEWING MIG-21 80mm. This is a what I like to term a retail rescue. This was actually for sale at the club. A guy had it for sale for $90, and I went through it. Everything seems to work. All the hinges and everything seem to be in good shape. It was sold as a bind and fly, but it had an older Admiral receiver with satellite that didn't work right, and couldn't find any information online that was current. So I took it out and put a Spektrum receiver in it, and now she's ready to go. 6-channel, does not have thrust reverse, and it's got, I believe it has the older generation of the 12-bladed fan that they came out with. It's not the 9-bladed fan, but
AS3X mode.
We're gonna take her up in manual mode right off the bat so I can make sure she's trimmed out. Got a 5,000 Turnigy graphene battery inside there, and I gave her a clear coat. The foam was Dynam, the old-fashioned Dynam way of foam that was super dry. So I gave her a clear coat, but everything seems to be working fine. Huh?
Go forward just a touch.
Oh, right, left, up, down, right, left. It's much louder than the newer FREEWING motors, but that's okay. It sounds pretty cool. Like I said, we're going to take it up in manual so that I can get her trimmed out. And if everything checks out okay, then I might end up putting an afterburner in it. But for right now,
Timer reset.
Timer set for 3.5 minutes. And here we go.
Take off flaps.
We don't have any. And I did set up all the normal control surfaces by the book. The flaps, I'm just kind of guessing at. I was actually able to find the manual online, so.
Flaps up. Gear tucked away. Time remaining 3 minutes.
He's a little bit up trim for sure. Okay, CG's good. All right.
AS3X mode.
Put it back in AS3X now. Still needs up trim. Flying good though.
Gear down. Landing flaps. Time remaining 4 minutes. Up. Landing flaps. Flaps up.
Alright, she's gonna land pretty hot.
Landing flaps.
Not bad for a maiden flight. Definitely think I can bring them flaps down some more though. Alright, we've still got them one more minute. Let's take her up one more time.
1 minute. Flaps up.
Alright.
Gear tucked away.
Definitely want to give her
Gear down. Landing flaps.
definitely want to give her plenty of rollout to take off.
Seconds.
Yeah, on my second flight I'm going to lower them flaps down a little bit more.
20 seconds.
And I'm going to put the newer generation motor in it with thrust reverse. All right. Or I might just leave her alone.
Flaps up.
All right. Like I say, you would have watched my introduction video back in the man cave. We get a battery report. We had 11 seconds left on a 3.5 minute timer. That was a wild ride, but actually quite uneventful. Actually, I guess it wasn't that much of a wild ride. Not bad, 43%. So that tells me that 4 minutes is where I want to put the timer at. It's always good with a jet to set your first initial time at conservative, less than you think you need. 3.5 minutes is usually where I start out, and if I can go to 4 minutes or more on a jet, I'm happy. So at 3.5 minutes, came back at 43%, so I know that 4 minutes on a 5,000 is fine. All right, we'll meet you back in the man cave and we'll go over everything about this jet. All right, folks, second flight with the MiG-21, my retail rescue. All right. I think I got her trimmed out on the first flight. I didn't notice any. I noticed that the landing flaps were not all that effective, so I've lowered them down a little bit more. So I'm going to try them again. I did fly inverted for a second under manual mode, just to see. So I know my CG is good. Running a 5,000 Turnigy in her. All right, and I've lowered the takeoff flaps a little bit too. So kind of redoing the flaps.
Takeoff flaps.
All right. Actually get on my, okay. Okay, here we go.
Flaps up. Gear tucked away.
Yeah. I like them takeoff flaps a little bit better. All right, going to take it up now.
Gear down. Gear tucked away.
All right, I'm going to check these flaps out now.
Take off flaps. Landing flaps. Flaps up. Gear down. Time remaining 3 minutes. Take off flap. Landing flaps.
All right. I'm starting to think this thing could be a high alpha type plane the way she's coming in there. All right.
Take off flaps. Flaps up.
Well, wait a minute. This wind is out of the west.
You said you'd be landing from the east.
Yeah, I'm just, boy, when I first got here, really, there's a little bit of wind, so we're going to turn around and take off into the west. All right.
Take off flaps. Flaps up. Gear tucked away.
That's a good flying jet.
Time remaining 2 minutes.
Boy, that is.
Gear down.
There. Anytime you got an aircraft that's long like that, they just really lock in. Come by dirty.
Flaps up. Gear tucked away.
A little bit of, not too much pressure needed.
1 minute. Gear down. Landing flaps. "30 seconds.
Boy, she slows right down. Land in the bowl.
Yeah, didn't catch it either. I mean, I was okay, but I zoomed out a little bit.
That's all right. It happens. Obviously, I made it back okay.
Flaps up.
Definitely would like to see a little more elevator authority, which I can work on that, and a little more power. So I probably will upgrade her to the new generation of 80mm EDFs. I want to say it's the, you have to forgive me, 38 kV? I don't remember. It's the new 80mm that they have out now. And I'll put that with thrust reversing and Yeah, but we'll come back. I'll see you back at the man cave. Let's get a battery report real quick. I had 22 seconds left on a 4-minute
Jets are cooled. Safe to touch.
4-minute timer. Okay. But yeah, I'm going back to man cave and upgrade this beast. 39% left, so that's not bad. 4-minute timer is perfect for this on a 5,000. But back in the man cave, I'll show you all my AS3X rates, my flap settings. I didn't notice any ballooning or climbing whenever with this last version of flap settings that I just put in. This is a little bit more aggressive than my first flight, than the maiden flight. So, but I'll share all that with you back in the man cave, so we'll meet you there. God bless y'all, and God is good. Bye-bye. Well, hey folks, Fat Guy Flies RC. Man, this thing, that was $90 well spent. This thing flew really, really well. And I was a little concerned because I've never really flown a plane. I mean, I've flown many, many jets, but really this was different than what I'm used to. And the guy who owned it ahead of me must have painted the red on there, because I think this plane was just blue and white and it was gray before. It was very, very dry. No information on the plane, no ordnance. But it was very, very dry, so I gave her a clear coat of my polyacrylic. I made sure that all the hinges and everything were in good shape, which is definitely something you want to look at, especially when the foam was very, very dry. He's got his AMA number on there. I found that the CG is 265 millimeters back from the leading edge root, which puts it right there. I don't know if he put new, this gear looks like it's brand new, so I don't know if he put new gear or what in there, but I'll show you my CG real quick. But she seemed to CG fairly well right there on the CG according to the website. Which I was able to find. I went to their discontinued planes at Motion RC and found all the information on the plane. I still don't know. I don't know what the motor is. I know it's a 12-bladed fan, and it's louder than what the original, or what I'm used to now. So I don't know if this was their high performance version or what, but I don't even know what kind of ESC is in it. I mean, I really can't see it. So, I mean, it's blue. I can tell you that it's blue, but it's upside down in there, so I can't tell, and you don't see any numbers on it. Let me see if I can see down the pipe. But yeah, 12-bladed fan. And that's not how the motors look these days. They the back, it's an end runner, but I don't know if you can be able to tell anything or nah, I doubt it. Too dark. But let's go over our rates real quick. On the first flight, I found that the flaps seemed to be a bit anemic. So when I flew her the second time, I made the flap settings a little more aggressive. Let me just share those flap settings with you. No mix. I didn't see it needed any. She didn't pitch or dive on me when I deployed flaps in any position. Flaps up were 100% positive. Takeoff flaps were a positive 25%. And then landing was a negative 50%. I mean, that's a lot of down flaps. And she seemed to not pitch or just slow down nice and controllably. She did get into a little bit of a higher alpha type stance with them flaps down, but it's almost like she naturally wants to high alpha. And I've still a little more research online, and it said this plane is really great at high alpha. I can see that. I believe it. I did think, however, it did need more aileron or elevator authority, it seemed to me. Like I didn't have enough, like I was losing it. Or it seemed a little anemic. So I may go in there and mechanically adjust to get a little more on there. And if that doesn't work, then I'll maybe get a little electronically. But that's an awful lot, and it still seemed like it wasn't enough. So, but that's just me. Now let's talk about the rates. I flew it in the high rates. I never went to any other rate. Basically, it's 100% throws, 30% expo on
Rates.
Aileron with my mid rate being 90 and my high rate or my low rate being 80, but 100% is what I used. On elevator, one rate, 100% throws, 30% expo. So that tells me that, and then they didn't, in the manual that I was able to find, both rates, their high rate and their low rate was 100% with 30% expo. So that tells me that they're telling you it needs elevator. Rudder, I left at one rate with 100% throws and 50% expo, be it to help with the steering since I don't have a nose wheel gyro in this thing. It doesn't have thrust reverse either, so I just a simple six channel setup. To get that CG that I just showed you, I've got a 5000 Turnigy graphene battery in there, so you can see where it's at. Now this, I know this plane you can't get it anymore, but you might be able to find a swap meter, get lucky and find it like I did. And some a couple of fingers in from that wooden tray, and that's where I got the battery at. That's the receiver I've got in there. It's a Spektrum 6-channel, I don't know, something, I never remember the numbers. AR367T, okay? And I do have it upgraded to the AS3X Plus. Let me go over that real quick. Well, you know what? Let me show these gear real quick. Now, to me, these gear look like they're brand new. I mean, they're shiny and everything, and they look like maybe he put new gear in it. But flawless. Absolutely flawless. And I do, back to the receiver, I do have them set at 90 degrees from each other to get dual diversity. Okay. Very long plane. Very long. Okay. All right. Let's talk about AS3X settings. Make sure my motor's off. All right. Don't nose wheel gyro. Gains are set at one-time gains. And roll 25%, pitch 40%, yaw 60%. Nothing on heading, priority, all at 100 on roll, pitch, and yaw. Stop lock 50, 50, and 50 on roll, pitch, and yaw. And with the release rate, I didn't mess with 55, 55, 75 on roll, pitch, and yaw. Gains are at one-time sensitivity, no nose wheel gyro, and just a pretty simple setup. I guess it's just because of the way this type of plane, it's always been my experience, anytime you have a very long, straight plane, they have a tendency, I mean, just to be really like on rails. They lock right in. And that is, well, the trade-off of that is in turning, you may get a little bit of instability in turning, but she did really, really well. And so straight level flight, she flies like a dream. She wants to come in a little bit of a high alpha, which is fine. I do think she needs a little bit more elevator authority, but that's something I can work on. And I think I came back at maybe 30 or 40% after each flight, but I'm very impressed. Definitely a good spent $90. I mean, there's little blemishes here and there, you know, but for $90, and there's big old dent right there where he ran into something, you know, but hey, so actually there's the same dent on the other side. It might be how he was storing it, and it was sitting on something like on the wall there, and that's where it was riding right there. So, but I like the red, white, and blue that he's got on here. I mean, I know it was blue and white already, but very patriotic. And the only repair I had to do was this antenna here was coming undone. I just put some foam tack and glued it back in. But yeah, great flying plane. I'm very impressed. I can't wait to get it out the field again. And I'm more than likely going to put a KM model afterburner in it if the rear of that will take it. If not, I'll have to do that wire thing if I do that. I might just leave it alone, fly it the way it is. All right, folks, well, y'all have a good, and God bless y'all. And that is the MiG-21, and I'm hoping that they sold a mess of these things. I'm hoping FreeWing will bring these back in an upgraded version with lights and reverse thrust and a more economic, more powerful EDF, and that would be awesome. All right, well, y'all have a good one. God bless y'all, and don't forget, faith, family, and friends, and then MiG-21s. God is good. Bye, y'all.